What's up, Jupiter here with another Call of Duty Black Ops 7 achievement trophy guide. This one is called I Heard You Like Upgrades. And to unlock this one, you need to fully upgrade Ol Tessie. Now, Ol Tessie is the car in the zombies map Ashes of the Damned. And fully upgrading Tessie involves 4 things: the head, the boost, the beam, and the turret. Now, this guide is going to be focused around playing solo and not using any gobblegums, so let's get straight into the guide. First of all, you want to load into a game of Ashes of the Damned, standard, solo. Bring any weapon, it doesn't matter too much, but make sure you've got the Toxic Growth field upgrade. This will be important later on. So once you've loaded into a game, the first area you will be in is Janice Towers Plaza. This is where you spawn, and I would recommend playing the first round and all but one zombie of the second round, just using your knife to get critical kills, which are headshots with your knife. Before you do that though, head over and pick up this fertilizer and spray it on the plant, as these plants will give you rewards, so it's good practice to do these as you're playing the game throughout the map. Doesn't matter too much if you don't get a perfect defend, they'll still give you a lot of salvage, which is useful, and it's also free to do. So if you run over to this location and pick up this plant or weed, this isn't actually part of the Easter egg, but it's going to be useful for getting us a free Juggernog perk. Then you want to head into this room, pick up Ted's head, and also grab this stun if you don't have them already. You can bring stuns in, which is what I do, but if you don't, you can pick this one up here. Put the head on Ol Tessie, and this will let you drive it. I'd recommend turning left first and making sure you hit all the green plants, because this will reward you with salvage and essence, which is essential as we are not using gobblegums. Once you get to Blackwater Lake, shoot the growths off of the power, and make sure whilst you're doing this you don't accidentally kill your zombie. They will be recognizable with yellow eyes. The purple-eyed ones are related to the challenge you're doing by doing the power, but to make things easier, just don't kill any of them. You can head into this shed and interact with this trophy by pressing X if you're on Xbox or square if you're on PlayStation. Throughout this guide, if I say interact with it, this is what I mean. This will spawn a tomahawk, which you'll need to pick up for something later on. You might need to progress one more round to get enough points to open up the cabin, so do this if so. If not, open up the cabin, head into the kitchen and pick up the jar of spores from underneath the sink. Then head upstairs and turn the power on, and this is all we need to do in Blackwater Lake. Instead of progressing to Ashwood, what we're actually going to do is turn around, go back to spawn, picking up any more green plants for salvage and essence, go through Janice Tower Plaza, and we're going to head over to Van Dorn Farm next. This is because we want to deposit the jar of spores we just picked up onto this dead horse, as these will take 3 rounds to grow. Go and get the power as we did before, and you might need to progress the round to open up this big barn. Open up the barn, use a tomahawk to throw it at the right foot as you walk in the door, and this will take the foot off of the hanging zombie, and we're going to leave this for now, but we'll come back to it later. Also, pick up this bottle from this little crease in the door, as this is another item we need for our free Juggernog perk. Head upstairs, turn the power on. There won't be a specific objective to do this, but you still can do it. And then once this is done, head in the car, and we're going to head to Ashwood now. You'll probably be at round 4 now, hopefully with 1 zombie left, and you can head upstairs in Ashwood and turn the power on. Don't forget to shoot any of these hanging zombies for a little bit of extra essence, which can come in very useful. Once you've turned the power on in Ashwood, progress the round to round 5, and hopefully this will be a Ravager round. This will let you use the trap over here. You only need to do it on 1, so I would recommend killing all but 1 to get maximum points, and then turning the trap on. It will kill the Ravager and also give you the item Ravager Eyes, which is another item we need for the Easter egg. Once you've done this, head back down to the car, take it into the garage, and stick the Pack-a-Punch on Ol Tessie, which is the second task we need to do, and this is upgrade 2 of 4. Next, we're going to drive to exit 115, and once we get there, we're going to head into the diner, and we're going to end the round whilst we're in here. Whilst you're waiting for the next round to start, grab this carton of eggs and head over to the soda machine, and this will let you craft Juggernog for free, and you'll get your free Juggernog perk. Next, you're going to want to let the zombies start to spawn, and if you can, kill them while you're in the diner, but it can get quite hectic, so don't be afraid to go outside the diner. Just don't kill any zombies outside the diner, train them back in, and get all the kills inside the diner, and one of them will drop a freezer key. Pick up this freezer key, and we're going to use this to go over to this freezer, which has an Abomination carcass inside. Once we've got this, keep a zombie so the round doesn't progress, jump back in the car, and this time we're going to head to the Zarya Cosmodrome to finish off opening up the map. Now you can actually buy Wisp Tea here, but as we're doing this without Perkaholic and without Essence or any boosts, I would actually recommend using another method, which I'll explain later, to get this perk for free. So go back to Ashwood, and in the garage you can add the Abomination carcass to Ol Tessie, giving you the Abomination beam, and this is step 3 of 4 for upgrading Ol Tessie. Whilst we're here, pick up the Molotov. Now this last step does take the longest of all the upgrades, and it is part of the Easter egg, so there's lots of little fiddly steps to do, some of which we've started already. We're going to head back to farm, and en route to farm, look out for glowing purple plants which are on the floor. Don't worry too much if there is not one on the way to farm, but if there is, shoot it with the Abomination beam, and this will drop another item that we need to pick up. Go through to farm, and your fungus should be fully grown now, but if it's not, just progress a round or 2 to get this done. But because it takes 3 rounds to do, we should be at 3 rounds later to when we planted it earlier on in the game. Head into the barn, and this is where we're going to use the Molotov we just picked up to burn the foot that we tomahawked off, and then you can pick up the item. Now we're going to focus on getting the free Wisp Tea perk. So if you head into the farmhouse, go upstairs, there's a TV showing static. Interact with it until it shows 2 people, and you'll have to stand there and watch the TV, which can be a little bit annoying with a zombie trying to hit you. So you definitely need 1 zombie for this. Let that screen disappear, and then it'll go static again. Interact with it again until it shows just 1 person on the screen. Then we're going to head down into the basement, and you'll see this blue ghost. Head back upstairs, interact with it again until you see a clear scenery, and then we're going to go down behind the power where you'll see 2 blue ghosts kind of dancing around. They will drop you some loot, and one of these items will be a Wisp Tea perk. Once you've got Wisp Tea, we're going to drive back to Ashwood, and the first zombie you kill, which you'll probably do on the way, will initiate the Wisp Tea. Head straight up the zip line into this back room, and your wisp should go into the mirror, revealing this buy pyramid, which is important for getting our 4th part for Ol Tessie and fully upgrading it. Next, we're going to head back to spawn. So again, when you're transitioning through all of these areas, look out for those purple plants if you haven't got the item already. So before you actually get to spawn, I would recommend pack-a-punching your weapon once and at least upgrading your armor once. And when you get back to spawn, Uber Claus will spawn. Now I tried this a few different ways. I think it's best to actually be outside of Tessie with 1 zombie kept back. Make sure you don't kill it. And then just kind of train around the map and use corners to your advantage so that Klaus's shots can't get you. I like to use the room where we got Ted's head from, as this really kind of throws him off with his shots, and it gives you a nice long opportunity to get some rounds into him, and he shouldn't take too long to defeat. Once he's got out of his armor, he will kind of fly around on his boots, and he's very weak at this point, so just finish him off. Once you defeat him, he will drop a chip, so pick this up as we will need this. Once you've got this, head back to Ashwood and go upstairs into this room, and Klaus will be in a jail cell. Use the chip to interact with the control panel, and this will sort of wake him up, and this is where our stun grenades come in handy. Throw all 4 stun grenades at Klaus, and he'll have these kind of stars around his head, and then eventually he will fly out and escape the jail cell. He will now assist you, and this does cost 2000 essence, so what we want to do is when you first free him, he will automatically be assisting you straight away. So we're going to jump in Ol Tessie and head to the Zarya Cosmodrome. Go down these stairs, open it up, summon Klaus by using your left bumper or L1 just in front of this panel where he will stomp, and this will enable you to interact with it, revealing this red beam. Stand inside this red beam for a little while. You'll probably end up progressing the round while doing this just because you'll need to defend yourself, but that's fine, it doesn't take too long. And once you've done this, the canister is opened and you're able to grab it. Now this is why it's important to have Ol Tessie. When you do grab this canister, you move very slow and you're not able to use the jump pads, otherwise you'll drop it. So head into Ol Tessie straight away, go to Ashwood, go up to the power and stick the canister in the power. You don't need to defend it or anything, the zombies won't go for it, but eventually it will come up with a notification saying you've got 1 minute 45 seconds to get to the next zone. You'll need to pick this up straight away, go down to Ol Tessie, using the zip line, don't jump off, otherwise you'll drop the canister. And then you're going to head to Blackwater Lake and do the same thing again. Put it in the power, let it do its thing, and when it's done, pick it up and then head to farm, do the same again with that power. And the reason we do farm last is because after we have done this with the canister and the power, you want to take it down into the basement. You want to take it into the basement to this cube and interact with it, and it will sort of unlock the cube and our first puzzle. Now the answer to this puzzle you can find by using the jump pads from farm to spawn, which is Janice Tower Plaza. As you jump to and from, you're able to have a look at the roofs in farm. I'd recommend pausing your game here, which is very useful for solo, taking a picture on your phone, and then heading back down into the basement. And each of these symbols you'll be able to input on 3 sides of this cube. Now, just before you go around to the eye and initiate the trial, I would recommend having full armor, and also make sure that you've got that Juggernog that we picked up earlier, as both of those things come in very useful during this trial. Once initiated, you will get the Necrofluid Gauntlet, which is the wonder weapon in this map. And what you're going to want to do is shoot the green blobs, but don't just shoot one at a time. I'd recommend shooting 3 or 4 and then holding your reload button to recall your barbs. All whilst doing this, you will be being attacked by zombies, and it can get a little bit out of hand and quite difficult if you take too long. But if you get the blobs done very quickly, this shouldn't be any trouble at all, especially with your shield and Juggernog. Once you complete this trial, you will have the gauntlet, which we will need to progress in the Easter egg and get our last upgrade for Ol Tessie. So once you've got the gauntlet, you want to head back to Ashwood, go up to the mirror that we put our wisp in and shoot it or melee it with the gauntlet. This will release the bi-pyramid from the mirror and put it over the other side of the bridge, and we'll need to come back to this later. But for now, pick up the powder that is dropped, and then we're going to head back to the Zarya Cosmodrome, and we're going to go into Yuri's lab. Now, you've only actually collected all but one of the serum items so far. And the reason that we're going straight to the lab now is that we only actually need 3 parts in any one game. This can be completely random. And the last part we can't actually get until round 16. So we're going to the lab early, hoping that we don't need to get this part just by chance. But if you do need to get this part, which is the mysterious limb, you need to kill a Zerka bear with Ol Tessie's Abomination beam. These won't spawn until round 16, and we are way ahead of that, so hopefully we don't need to do it, but if you do, that is how you get that item. So when you get to Yuri's lab, you want to interact with the powder, which will cause a white puff of smoke, and it will also reveal some symbols on the wall. This is Pigpen Cipher, so it's fairly easy to decode with the letters of the alphabet corresponding to specific symbols. But here is a quick cheat sheet in order to help you get this done, as pausing on solo, you've only got that 15-minute timer. So it will be one of fungus, limbs, oculi, conch, or talus. We're hoping it's not limbs, so we don't have to go to round 16. And then the top line will be your first, the middle line will be your second, and the bottom line will be your third. Interact with the items in this order. If done correctly, this will initiate red smoke and allow you to add blood. Doing this, you will cut your hand and add blood and start the ritual. Now, this can also be quite difficult, but if you just shoot your gauntlet very quickly, I'd recommend having it pack-a-punched at least once. Shoot it 3 or 4 times at zombies that will be coming at you, and stand in this corner so nobody can attack you from behind. Once you've shot your 3 or 4 barbs, hold reload to pull them back, and then rinse and repeat, and it shouldn't take too long, and it's not that difficult, especially with the shields and Juggernog that we got earlier. Once you've done this, we've just got one more thing to do to fully upgrade Ol Tessie by putting the turret on top. And these are finding 3 separate keys. Now, each of these keys will have 3 different locations they can spawn in. The Nightbird key, or the red key, will be in Order Graveyard between Ashwood and Exit 115, either in the T-Rex head on the mountain, behind the tank as you hug the right hand side from Exit 115, or the T-Rex head on the floor. What you're going to want to do is shoot a barb with the gauntlet and then hold reload to pull it back. This will reveal the key on the floor, which you then can pick up. Once you pick up the red key, this prevents your health regeneration, so make sure that Ol Tessie is on standby and that your shields are full. So you can jump into Ol Tessie, head to Ashwood, go upstairs, and the bi-pyramid is in this location. Interact to use the key and it will take one of the chains off the bi-pyramid. The second key is the brewing key, or the yellow key, and it's in the Crast Rocket Zone between Ashwood and Cosmodrome. The first location can be on the fallen media tower in the middle. The second is on top of the building just outside Cosmodrome, and the third is just outside of Ashwood on the mountain on the left hand side. Same again, shoot the barb, pull it back, and then pick the key up. This key will lock you to melee only, so again use Ol Tessie, go back to Ashwood, go to the Bi Pyramid and use the key to take one of the chains off. Now the third and final key is the Terrapin key, which is the green key, and this will be in the grounded ship zone between Ashwood and Van Dorn Farm. The first location is in this little gap in the blue shipment container, second location is in the window on the ship, and the third location is under the ship at the bottom of the stairs between these barrels. Again, shoot it, pull it back, and then picking this key up will slow you down, so again use Ol Tessie, head back to Ashwood, up to the Bi Pyramid, and use this key to unlock the final chain. So when you enter all 3 keys and take all 3 chains off, you will automatically enter into a cutscene, as this signifies a major step in your main quest for this map. Once your cutscene ends, the DF2 turret barrel will spawn where the Bi Pyramid was. Grab this and then head down to the garage, over to the workbench that we used previously for Pack-a-Punch and the Abomination beam, and then install it on Ol Tessie by upgrading. This will be your 4th and final step, and this will be Ol Tessie fully upgraded, and your achievement or trophy will unlock. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to drop a like if you found this guide useful, and subscribe for future achievements and trophy guides.